struck it so well. Got a lot of movement. It was quite straight. Managed to generate a lot of pace out of the cue ball there. And then obviously went on and won that frame at one visit. And that's what you want. You know, he's now settled, he's in the game, and just gets on with doing what he does every day of the week.
Steve, how many times have we had the debate about Judd Trump? When are we going to see Judd Trump winning one of these big major tournaments? When you look at the way he's playing in this tournament so far, what do you see?
Well, obviously, yeah, I was talking to Dennis in the commentary box about the fact that occasionally people say, no, he's an underachiever, but he has won so many tournaments already. I think it just probably shows more than anything else how hard it is to get on the winners' podium. So I don't think you can judge by old standards anymore. But, yeah, he's so close to be winning the big ones. I still do think it's only a matter of time before he lifts the World Championship.
Because so many people talk about Judd and the talent he's got, Sean, and there's a huge respect, isn't there, amongst the players for the type of player he is. Yeah. But, you know, where is the consistency with Judd?
Well, I have to say, he doesn't get the respect he deserves for his tactical prowess and his safety game, because he's just so blisteringly good at potting balls. But he's been like that ever since he was a kid, and in one way, really, he's just come on the Pro Tour and carried on playing the same way. And when he's in full flow, he's close to unbeatable.
Absolutely. Great start for Judd. Back to Dennis now.
Yeah, so shot number 2 coming up this afternoon, Joe Perry. He only broke off, remember, frame 1. Oh, yes.
That was even a better pot than the one that Judd pulled off in the opening frame. What a cracker this was. Didn't want that. That's end of break. If he misses the blue, he's perfect, but he's blessed with a terrific temperament, this Joe Perry. He won't let that faze him. He'll just play a good safety.
Joe Perry, 3.
Yeah, I was talking about the Joe Perry game as well, wasn't I, with Stephen. The 3 shots he's played there, just the whole gambit of his armoury. Joe Perry. Outstanding long pot. Cracking little shot in the yellow. Unlucky to not be in a red, and then a good tight safety shot. The hallmark of the gent.
Won't cost him canning the blue there. Everything's still safe. I was reading somewhere, Alan, where they were talking about Judd. Might have been social media saying sometimes he gets a bit of stick for not trying. Oh, sometimes you lose form. But this player tries his hardest every single frame he plays.
Yes, he does. And let's think about it. The modern game these days dictates that you can't win 6 or 7 events a year. It's virtually impossible with the standard. You're going to come a cropper a lot of the time, and a lot of the time as well, it's through no fault of your own. There's that maturity.
And just going back, a lot of the matches are the best of 7 these days, so you're going to lose a majority or some of them.
Yeah, look, I obviously travelled the tour over to Asia and all over Europe with these guys, and I'll tell you something else about Judd Trump, his professionalism. is up there with anyone I've ever seen in the game. I'm talking about the Hendrys and the Higgins and those kind of people, Steve Davis, you know, the great champions. He really is so professional. See him sitting in the foyer of the hotel, having a coffee in the practice room. That's pretty much all he does, lives for the game.
No, he needs a bit of cover, and I think he's got it. That red over the corner pocket now, a bit of a problem. Just wondering if Joe might be forced into trying to pot that off the cushion. The only problem with that, he's going to career into the reds and black with the cue ball, but he can't leave it there. I think if there was a pass round the back of the black and that, he might play cushion first. That's what he's looking at there. But now he's looking to see where the cue ball would go. You'd have to have a slice of good fortune to get on a colour, and even coming off the cushion is far from easy. But he has to take it on. So here we go. He might be able to cut the black in. Mind you, it's tight as to whether the black goes into the corner. Yeah, there's plenty of room there. But he played that pot when hitting the cushion just a dead width. So it's a thin one, but it's a possibility. Well played.
Eight.
I see the red again. 2 shots here by Joe Perry, demonstrating maximum efficiency with minimum effort. He's so clever, so streetwise. Again, cue ball here, nothing to do with it. Cross twice. Oh, Joe.
Joe Perry, 8.
I'm just wondering if he got a heavy contact there. I'm just looking at his body language and the way he threw his hand up. Maybe it did kick slightly. Let's have a look. Couldn't quite see from that angle.
Yeah, I think with the hand going up, a telltale sign. I think you're right then. It was a heavy contact. Yeah, this isn't the time to be aggressive, not the way the Reds are. Good chance here for Judd to get the cue ball back in a similar position. Has to get it in bulk though, otherwise Joe will have a go. Just good match play that. Keep the pressure on your opponent.
Can't get to that, but there's one to the other corner. You can see enough of it. That's very tight. There's a big shot, the one into the right corner past the black. If this goes in, there'd be a great chance, but it could spell danger if he misses the pot. Judd. If the red's tight on the cushion here, he can just roll it into the pocket because the black's in the perfect spot. Doesn't have anything to do with the cue ball here. He plays the, oh, is that coming away? Do you know, that looked in. When he hit it, I thought that was in, and Judd thought it was in. Maybe just drifted slightly there. Let's have a look. Now here, that looks in. And all of a sudden,
1.
Yeah, definitely drifted. That wasn't human error. Now Joe Perry can get to work. He was unfortunate himself, let's be honest.
8.
Last chance he had with a little bad contact, so perhaps there's a little hint of justice attached to that, but either way, a good opening.
9. $16. 17. 24.
You see his target, but as I was saying before about Joe Perry, the
25.
calm efficiency that he plays with. I think his game as a package in a way is equal to more than the sum of its parts. He's just so good in every little department, Joe Perry. Something else I think he's improved since
32.
becoming a top player is his pace round the table. He's almost got that slow gait, a bit like Mark Williams actually. It's all good for breathing, and that's another thing about so you've got to remember to sort of
33.
breathe deeply when you're out there, because he will be feeling the tension. Always just that calmness about him. Almost caresses the ball, the cue ball.
40.
Didn't hit it too hard. See that little strokey shots.
41.
Well, he's taking full advantage of that shot
48.
that Judd Trump thought was in, and I think most people thought was in the corner pocket. And that's what you've got to do. And
49.
I keep saying you never settle in any match till you get your first frame on the board. And once again, when he hit it there, that looked in all the way. It's amazing that just drifted a little bit at the end.
$56. $57.
Now, all the signs that we're in for an absolutely cracking afternoon here with these two players. Both look to be cueing very well.
$64. Cheers. 65.
A little bit straight on the black. He'll have to get some action on this if he's going to maybe try and move the one next to the pink. Screwing back off the cushion. Unlucky, but he's got the other two. There's two shots in one. If he flicks the pink out of the way, he's got that one.
72.
And if he didn't, he always had these two.
$73. $75. Joe Perry, 75 on the frame.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, Judd, early on in that frame, but Joe Perry makes no mistake at second time of asking. Lovely 75 to draw level. It's one apiece.